Good morning and welcome to our Sunday morning virtual service. My name is Reverend James Parker and it's just such a pleasure to be here with you. Well, we've got a lot to cover, but first I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers for all the work you've done with your children and in the lives of others, for the fathering those who did not have fathers. Thank you for stepping up. Now, as we go into this time of wonder, where we're having sunshine out in our lives, where our gardens are beginning to grow, we're starting to feel a little better about life, I want to just take this time to express that I am just loving the fact that we are coming together and having this time to share. Continue to do the work, continue to show up, to learn and to grow, and allow yourself to develop and move into enlightenment and empowerment, into spiritual growth and into your power. Well, let's get started. Why don't we begin with a little meditation today, just to allow ourselves to become centered and grounded. So let us just go with it. I ask you to breathe into this space. Breathe into your oneness. Come into your connection with God. Open the way for the light to shine through you. Now relax and simply turn away from all that is around you. Turn away from any negative thoughts you've had this week, any burdensome trials, anything that may have shown up. Just let it go. Shake it off. And as we are linked one-to-one with God, we come into the expression of our truth. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We flow in the image and likeness of God. I behold the Christ in you. And as we are centered, coming into this moment of peace and comfort, letting go of all the negativity, all the fear, letting go of any lack and limited thoughts, we come into an awareness. We come into a framework of light and love. We come into knowing our own self, our beauty. We become confident in our worth. We know our value. For we are children of God, vessels and channels to the Most High. We are blessed and highly favored. And so now let us send blessings out into our world, sending blessings to the less fortunate, sending blessings to the friends and family, the people we love. Sending blessings out to James Williams, to Paul Witt, to Lucy. Sending blessings out to Jimmy and Bill, who've returned from their trip. Sending blessings out to John and Matt. Sending blessings out to Jeff, to Diane. Sending blessings out to Agnes, to Connie. Sending blessings out to Jean. Blessings going out to Dina. Blessings going out to Sue Ellen. Sending blessings out to Frank, to Tom. Sending blessings to Larry. Blessings going out to Ramona. Blessing you, Tammy. Opening the way for the truth, the light to come in. We're sending out blessings, knowing that we are in agreement with Spirit. And as we agree with Spirit, we open the way to claim and accept our good. And now let us take a moment and go into the silence. And allow the Spirit of God now to do His perfect work in us. Heavenly Mother, Father, everything God, thank you for coming forth with your peace, with your power. We take pleasure in knowing that your good is always coming forth to us. We resonate with love. We resonate with peace. We resonate with the light. We see ourselves as beacons of that light, sending out your goodness, your love into our world, into our nation. And as we flow in your good, we ask you that you continue to guide us, to direct us. Knowing that we lean on you, you bring forth our perfect expression. More of you, God, less of me. More of you, God, less of me. More of you, God, less of me. And we see it working now in the name and the very nature of the living Christ. And so it is. Amen. Well, friends, thank you again for being here with me this week. We just love doing these Sunday morning virtual services, and I'm just so happy to have this opportunity to speak with you and for us to grow and to go through this paradigm shift together. Well, we've got a lot to cover. I am working with you on the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and it is some very powerful stuff. It brings us forth in our fundamentals and our basics, but also helps us to move through unpleasant experiences and into our light, into our comfort. Well, last week we covered part one of the Four Agreements. We talked about being impeccable with our word. Knowing that impeccable means without sin. It means without error. It means hitting the target. And making this agreement to be impeccable says and represents that we will not do or say anything that is against ourselves. Can you do that with me? Now we move into part two. Don't take anything personally. You know, this second agreement provides us with a way to deal with the hurtful treatment of others. It advocates the importance of having a strong sense of self and not needing to rely on the opinions of others. This agreement allows us to understand the notion that we are all unique in our worldview, and that the actions and beliefs of others is simply a projection of their own personal reality. Ruiz says that jealousy and envy and anger and even sadness can lessen or be dissolved if just one individual stops taking things personally. Today, our objective is to learn how to hold our space, to keep our power in the midst of hurtful people and experiences. You know, as humans, there are those people who we get along with quite well. But then there are those who are harder to connect and communicate with. How involved we are with them will determine the level and intensity of the interactions we have with them. You know, we are often dependent on others for our happiness, our security, and sometimes our safety. We often look to others to fill our needs. When these people are supportive, encouraging, loving, caring, and giving, life seems very satisfying. But when those people we are attached to are judgmental or critical, or even aggressive or abusive, we may find ourselves in conflict. Sometimes we make a bargain with the devil and end up giving away a lot more of ourselves to placate them, to make them happy, to keep the peace, or to make them stay in our lives because we think we need them. Taking things personally is a byproduct of this bargain. When we take things personally, we are giving certain individuals more of ourselves than they deserve or should even be allowed to have. In effect, you are allowing someone to question your feelings and beliefs. You are trusting someone to tell you who you are, instead of relying on what you know to be true about yourself. You know, in essence, taking things personally keeps us tied to someone else, and in the extreme, it can make us feel like a victim. When someone pushes your buttons, when we find ourselves in an interaction or conflict with someone in which our personal integrity is being challenged, or when someone disrespects you or does not treat you well, it's easy to take their behavior personally, to blame yourself, and to think that you have something to do with their behavior. Friends, it's not about you. Let's take a look at the video.
If someone is criticizing you, if someone is insulting you, or if someone is giving you a backhanded compliment, here are 3 reasons why you don't have to take it personally. Reason number 1, don't let people transfer their pain onto you. Sometimes people are purposefully mean or judgmental or vindictive. It feels like a personal agenda, but this just shows that it is personal to them. And it doesn't have to be personal to us. Whether or not we understand the true motives behind someone's actions, what we can understand is that when someone is nasty, it is because of their own pain. So the fact that they feel the need to transfer some of that pain onto you, it doesn't mean that you have to receive their pain. And taking things personally would mean that we are volunteering to receive their pain. Reason number 2, don't let people make you react. Sometimes it is other people who are taking things personally. They get sensitive and offended, and we get upset that they are upset. If we can see that someone is taking things personally, then it is up to us to not react to their reaction. If I can see that you are taking things personally and I'm taking it personally, that you're taking it personally, then we're never going to be able to communicate or be civil to each other, because I'm just joining you in your unhappiness. Reason number 3, don't let your own insecurities and fears drive you to take things personally. Often we do understand that when people behave badly, they are acting out of their own issues. Yet we can't help but take some things personally because our fears and our insecurities are tied to that thing. If someone calls me fat, I know that that comment has more to do with their own lack of kindness and lack of tact than it has to do with my weight. But if I already feel bad about myself, I'll allow that comment to hurt me or to make me angry, which means I'm taking it personally. People can say all sorts of things, but they cannot transfer their pain onto us if we don't allow it. They cannot make us react if we don't allow it. And they certainly cannot make us feel bad about ourselves if we don't allow it. And the way to not allow it is to not take things personally. That is the best way to take our power back and be happy always.
Taking things personally is emotionally draining and an unnecessary constant reevaluation of your self-esteem. There's a difference between being reflective and constantly taking slights personally. One is productive and lends itself to self-improvement, while the other is the opposite. Not taking things personally gives us more control over how we respond, more control over our emotions and our energy level. Here are a few ways to stop taking things personally. Number 1, it's not about you. I'm going to say that again. It's not about you. Taking things personally means coming out of a mindset that, you know, everything falls within your guidelines, within your wheelhouse. Things are not always about you. When you take things personally, you are taking ownership for those thoughts. And at that point, it becomes yours. We take things personally because of our own self-importance. But nothing that anyone does has anything to do with you. Their judgments, criticisms, and retorts have no basis in your ongoing attainment for truth. What others say or do is a projection of their own programming. Most times, it's a projection or a reaction to their own pain. Taking things personally says you agree with what others have said. Otherwise, what they say wouldn't have an effect on you emotionally. When someone yells at you, or gossips about you, or tries to harm you or yours, it's not about you. They're simply giving rise to their own personal conflicts, their own personal dysfunction, conditioning, and their beliefs. When you find this happening, don't get angry. Don't create conflict. Don't hold yourself out as a victim or expend any energy arguing with them. It's not about you. Number two, stop worrying about what other people think. You know, at the end of the day, it's none of your business what other people think about you or anything else. What you should think about is what you think of yourself. Strangers and acquaintances volunteering opinions about you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. The sooner you stop caring about what other people think, the more liberated you'll feel, and the more energy that you'll have, and the ability to be strong in yourself. Number three, know your worth. You don't have to worry about what someone else is saying or doing if you know who you are and love who you are. Having self-confidence and self-worth is the foundation upon which everything is built. Your achievements, your relationships, your ability to keep going when life and work gets tough. You know, doing the work of self-love, self-confidence, and self-worth is the best work you can do. The dividends will show up in every aspect of your life. And it will show up both personally and professionally. Know your worth. Number four, don't jump to conclusions. According to Psychology Today, when someone makes judgments about you or critiques, they're rarely about you. In fact, it's almost always about them, their issues, their needs, their desire, and their pain to control you or a situation. To help manage how you respond to confrontation and to these people, instead of jumping to conclusions, go within. Come to know what you're sensitive about, what triggers your emotions. That way you'll be prepared when someone tries to mention them or push your buttons. Don't jump to conclusions. Number five, let things go. Frame your painful experiences as lessons on how to become stronger, how to better navigate bad situations. Don't allow someone to move you into anger or bitterness. Use it to make yourself better and to move on. When you allow yourself to hold on to pain, it is doing damage to you. Come into an expression of your good. Learn to let things go and then open the way for more joy and happiness. Number six, don't climb down. When someone disrespects you or is cruel to you, the worst reaction is to reply with more negativity and toxicity. Don't climb down the rabbit hole and become a part of the problem. It may seem satisfying in the moment, but it won't in the long run. You'll be doing more harm to yourself, and it'll likely make you have regrets. Always take the high road and allow it to wash off of you. So there we have it. A few ways, just a few simple ways to allow ourselves to stop taking things personally. It's not about you. Stop worrying about what other people think. Know your worth. Don't jump to conclusions. Let things go. And don't climb down. Friends, don't take anything personally. It's not about you. When we allow ourselves to get caught up in what others are saying or thinking or doing, we are allowing them to feed us poison and toxins. We don't have to eat it. If you just allow yourself to develop your life orientation based primarily on coming forth with your own personal resources rather than external influences, Your dependency on these outer external situations will be diminished. You know, many years ago, I went to a high school basketball game just to enjoy the game. I bought some popcorn and I went and sat in the stands, and the game started out really good. I mean, they were running up and down the court and shooting great baskets, and you could hear the oohs and ahs in the crowd, and it was just a very fun time. I hadn't been to a high school basketball game in over 20 years at that point. Almost halfway through the game, though, I started to sense someone looking at me. So I looked over, and across the gym, I saw this little boy who couldn't have been any more than 12 or 13 years old, and he put the finger up at me. I glanced away, and I kept watching the game. A few minutes went by, and I looked back over again, and sure enough, this little kid put his finger up at me again. Well, this time I put my popcorn down. I began to feel uncomfortable, that I couldn't concentrate on the game so much. I was beginning to feel, that I was getting upset. So I look away again. But now I can't really pay attention to the game. It's not so fun for me. Well, after about 5 or 10 more minutes, I look over again, and sure enough, he puts his finger up again. Now I'm staring at him. I'm becoming angry. I'm becoming a little disgruntled. I'm wondering, why his parents didn't teach him to respect his elders. All along, the game is still going on. I'm just staring at him for 5 or 10 minutes maybe. Around 2 minutes before the game was over, I hear this little boy behind me say, "Mom, tell Josh to stop putting his finger up at me." Oh my goodness. All that time I thought it was about me. I didn't eat my popcorn. I didn't enjoy the game. It was just a total loss because I allowed myself to take it personally. All the way home, I wondered why I allowed that to happen. What I'm saying is that many times we allow ourselves to get worked up about what's in someone else's psyche, what's in someone else's mindset, what's in someone else's heart, someone else's pain. And we have to allow ourselves to come through. Knowing that God is working in our lives, we can stand in our power and know the truth about ourselves and not concern ourselves with what someone else is thinking or saying or doing. Allow yourself to come forth in a spiritual way. Know that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and what someone else says about you has no meaning, has no reality in your world. Are you willing to do that with me today? Well, thank you all, and God bless you. Well, now we've come to that time in our service where we open our hearts to give. And our community is really working toward doing good. And I ask that you give. Give from your heart. Give with love. Give as a cheerful giver. Now, there are 3 ways that you can give. You can press the donate button there on our website, or you can text us at 773-492-8772. And always send us a check to 2650 West Montrose, Suite 110, Chicago, Illinois, 60618. And now I ask you to take that offering. Take it in your hands, take it in your heart. Send energy from your heart, your love center, into that gift, so that as we send it out with love, we know that it will return in love, 100-fold. And now let us say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, richly flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for the blessings of this day. I am grateful for the blessings on the way. And so it is. Friends, if you prayed that prayer with us, you are moving energy, you are moving substance, and be assured that it is going to be returned to you 100-fold. Now let us take a moment and say a prayer. Heavenly Mother, Father God, thank you for the gifts that we receive from those who are sending forth their gifts from their homes today, from our tithers and our givers. God, thank them and send back a gift to them. Send them your light and love. Send them your power. Fill their pockets. Fill their bank accounts. Remove any burdens, any challenges, any difficulties from their lives. Bless their children. Bless their families. Bless their homes. As we open the way for these gifts to do their work here in our community, we ask that you expand our territories and bring forth your awe-inspiring blessings. And now, more of you, God, less of me. Thank you for your peace. Thank you for your power. Thank you for coming forth in the perfect way. And we see it happening now in the name and the very nature of Jesus the Christ. And so it is. Amen. Well, friends, I really thank you again for stepping up. Thank the fathers for having a great day, and continue to work toward the expression of your good. Next week, we'll bring forth part 3. Don't make assumptions. So stay in touch and allow yourself to take in this great information. And now, let us say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Well, friends, I want to thank you again for stepping up, for doing this work. You are important. You are blessed. Stay safe. Stay warm. I love you. We'll see you soon.